Hey everyone, I'm going to dedicate this video to a friend. The friend will know exactly who he is because I spoke about this in the office today and he poo-pooed it like it was no big deal. But to me, this is a big deal. So the deal that I'm talking about is a Parasite cleanse. I've been on Instagram a little bit more recently. I did stay away from socials at the beginning of the year, like the first half, but only recently when I decided to do my YouTube, I was like, okay, let's get back on the socials. Like, what's the harm in it? So I do try and limit myself. But it has been a very, very, very interesting part of my daily stuff because what comes up on there is actually really useful information. I don't doom scroll on cats and people hurting themselves. I look into natural healing, into fitness, into nutrition, and I think social media is a really, really good tool and resource for that kind of thing. If you're a little bit stuck with what to have for dinner, just give it a little 5 minutes on Instagram looking through food blogs and you'll find something that ticks all boxes. So I found a Parasite cleanse and I know that sounds a little bit icky. It is. There are worms living inside of us and they are causing havoc. Obviously some people would have it worse than others, and I feel like it is the next step for me to take in my kind of healing journey. I have experienced bad skin, some like acne across here, and it's just not okay. I'm not okay with it anymore. It has got better over the past year, but it's still really griping me. I don't like it. So when I saw this Parasite cleanse, I was like, maybe this could be something that helps, because what's going on out here is a reflection of what's going on in here, and I'm pointing towards my stomach because your gut is you're absorbing all of the food that you take in, all of the nutrients, and if there are little horrible worms sucking up all of your nutrients and then eliminating their own wastes into your stream, then you have to deal with that as well as not getting good food into your bloodstream. So I showed my friend this and he was like, nah, that's a load of rubbish. And I was like, hey man, believe in the process. So part of the cleanse is to buy some products, and I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with like investing in your health. I think that's a really important part of the journey, the healing journey, the spiritual journey, the self-love journey. You have to put money into yourself. And I went into town the other day, went into my two favourite shops, Grapetree and Holland and Barrett. Grapetree was so much more fruitful than Hollybees, I have to say. So from Grapetree, start out with some castor oil. 100% pure, baby. This is gonna be great for my digestive health. So I've made a little bit of knowledge on paper because I really wanted to convince my friend of these. So castor oil has a laxative effect, and even he said this when I was like, part of this Parasite cleanse is to have castor oil. He was like, oh yeah, that's gonna make you go. So there's a laxative effect. The enzymes in the small intestine break down castor oil into ricinoleic acid, and that stimulates the nerves in the intestinal walls, so that increases muscle movement, which means you're gonna go, okay, and it's gonna help that flush of the intestines. And the ricinoleic acid is effective against certain worms, so it also has an anti-worm effect, which is great. Another part of the Parasite cleanse concoction is lemon juice, so vitamin C and antioxidant. So obviously everyone should know that there's loads of vitamin C in lemon juice. That supports your immunity, suppresses inflammation, and obviously if you've got some bad guys living in your gut is also going to be quite inflamed, which could cause things like gas and bloating. So the lemon juice is going to help reduce that inflammation, and it also stimulates bile and it aids digestion. So obviously I just need the juice of a whole lemon, which is really easy to get hold of. I did not need to do a special shop for that. So from the shop, I also got oregano, as the Americans call it. I love that when Americans say oregano like oregano. I think that's really cute. So this stuff is super, super punchy. It has anti-parasitic properties. So in a notable study in phytotherapy research, this study found that a daily dose of oregano oil over 6 weeks completely rid the participants of enteric parasites. It also improves symptoms like gas and bloating. It's antibacterial and it reduces inflammation. So this is going to be a punchy component in our war against worms. So from the internet, I have bought this evening bitter herbs, and this is anti-parasitic. It's able to target like worms and their eggs. So bitter herbs includes something called wormwood, which is really funny because we're targeting the wormies. There's a compound in wormwood called, bear with me, thujone. So that's thujone, or it's thujone. Thujone is effective against roundworms, pinworms and tapeworms, and it's also a digestive stimulant. So bitter herbs in the concoction as well. I also bought something called pau d'arco, which is a bark from Amazonian trees. This is anti-parasitic. There's two components called lapachol and beta lapachone, and these are effective against worms. It has antifungal and antibacterial properties. It's great for gut health and detoxification. It has a mild laxative effect, so obviously the actual passing. It's anti-inflammation, immune support, and it's rich in antioxidants. So those 5 components, the lemon, the bitter herbs, the oregano oil, the castor oil, and the pau d'arco, when the 2 that are missing arrive, I'm gonna be so like, let's do it. Obviously I'm gonna have to do it over the weekend because my friend that I found on Instagram, he suggested that you're going to be going for like 10 hours plus, which is gross. So I'm going to have to dedicate a whole day to myself, which I'm totally okay with. So my honeys, wish me the best of luck on this journey of detoxification. This is just the first step in my self-healing journey, my natural cleanse, my remedies, my herbal remedies, because I've also started, and this is another video, making concoctions for home beauty, because once the worms are out of me, I am then going to target my oily skin. Next video. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate you guys being here. I'm having so much fun doing these. So if you do like me and my content, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.